Hey, shake out the Miles Play boys. I'm back in this video. I'm reacting to another Kevin Samuels video. Told you guys we're almost 1,000 subs strong. So like this video, subscribe to the channel. Channel's blowing up. The better we get, the more subs we get, the better the quality of the videos. Anyway, this video is titled "Women Don't Have to Bring Anything to the Table." I already disagree. Let's get right into it.
The men out in the world. Hello?
Hi.
Hello? How are you?
How are you? Good.
I
did not know
how
think
old
you
are
were
you?
going to accept me.
Oh,
I'm
well, how old are you?
26. Hold on, let me take my
Okay.
retainer out.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, natural. I just heard you talk
Please.
about. Yeah, can you hear me?
So we're
I would
talking
just-
about pretty privilege. Yeah. Do you have me on TV or Bluetooth or speaker? Because there seems to be a slight delay.
No. Is this better?
Let's try it.
Okay.
All right. So you're 26. What are we talking about today? I'm talking about pretty.
Yeah.
What do you got on that? Do you think it exists?
To some extent, I do think it exists, but I think the more modern pretty women today like to have their own money. And I think they just, I don't know, like for me, I like to work and I've been working since I was like 16, but I also do have a man that supports me, but we also support each other. So I think like it goes both ways. Like you can be pretty, but I don't think you should expect a man to take care of you because you're pretty or you think you're pretty.
You said the modern boss. What?
Yeah, like
What
a modern day pretty woman today, they work.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty women work.
Where?
No, you don't think so? Anywhere.
If you take out OnlyFans and Instagram, where are you working?
No, they start businesses. They do real estate.
Man, hold on. Now, I don't know how long you watch my show.
Probably like a month. Not that long.
All right. Well, when I speak, I speak heavily in data, statistics, and facts. So, less than 9% of Black women earn $75,000 or more.
Mm.
Less than 4% of the women in this country earn six figures.
Mm.
Women are not bosses like that.
Mm.
That's the marketing. The numbers stay vastly different.
I feel
So when you say pretty women are working, I'm saying where? Because
I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm working.
Okay.
My sisters work.
Okay. But does that make you, when I hear the word boss, that's right up there with queen, diva, and such and so forth. And boss means you're over somebody.
No, I'm just saying like not depending on anybody.
Okay, who do you work for?
I work for Compass. I'm a realtor.
Okay, well then you work for somebody.
Mm.
Yeah. But like I'm saying I'm not depending on a man. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. You're 26. Do you want to get married one day?
Of course.
What's so wrong with depending on a man?
Mm.
No, you can.
No, I'm asking, but you said it many times, like not depending on a man is like a badge of honor, and I'm asking, what's wrong with depending on a man?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with depending on a man, but you should also have your own.
Okay. So do you want to be married one day?
Yep.
You want children?
I don't know yet.
Why get married if no children?
I know that's the same thing my boyfriend says.
Mm.
Were your mother and father married?
They were married for 17
Okay,
years.
I need you to hold the phone steady. You're doing all this, and almost 16,000 people watching. So,
yeah, they were married for 17 years.
Do you have any siblings?
I'm one of 6.
How old is the oldest?
She's 33.
The youngest?
14. No, 13, sorry.
So 20-year span. So 6 kids. So when you go home for the holidays, it's a big deal.
I got 6 nieces and nephews.
Right. And you don't know if you want children. So at 40 years old, 45 years old, What is life going to be like for you
Mm.
without children?
I haven't thought that far.
Bosses think in the future.
I'm gonna stop right here. I think it's kind of funny that Kevin Samuels got this information out of her, because initially she was talking about she doesn't depend on the man, but now she's talking about she didn't want to have children. So he's kind of questioning, what's your purpose in life, right? You don't need no man, you don't need no children. You want to be a wife, but like, why? Even I can't answer that question for her.
20.
That's what makes him. That's what makes a boss a boss.
I mean, if it happens, it happens. But
No, it's not. No.
Happens, it
See,
happens.
if you really study bosses and successful people, they have goals
Mm,
and structure.
mm.
What's the fear of having children?
I just haven't thought to.
Okay. Well, at 26, you're in the height of your prime. So if no one's told you, I'm going to tell you. Next year, you will enter what I call the danger zone.
Mm.
I know.
27 to 35, to where if you don't figure out what it is you want pretty soon, life is going to start making choices for you. Women have to get the bigger parts of their life together sooner because the biological clock, and it's not easy to make children after a certain age. But bottom line, if you don't want to have children, fine. But what is life going to be at 40 plus years old? Because life is about relationships for women. And if you don't have family and kids, what is it going to be? Is it just going to be you and your husband and pets, or what?
I don't even have a dog.
Okay. So most women don't want to have kids, just don't want to. They're kind of selfish.
Mm.
Are you a selfish person?
Right now, yeah, for sure.
All right. How long have you been with your boyfriend?
Going on 2 years.
Does he want to be married?
Yeah, he does.
Does he want children?
He already has.
Okay.
Wow.
So why aren't you guys married?
I don't know. Probably not ready yet.
Well, what do you need to be ready to be married?
You tell me. I don't know. Have
Does
you
your
been
mother-
married?
No, we're not doing. We don't do that.
I don't get it. Make it make sense, right? She's dating a man that has children, but she doesn't want children. But in the event that she did want children, she'd be the second baby mama. And then she wants to be married, but she doesn't want children. I don't know. I haven't figured it out, but
You're about to go down the wrong
we're gonna
path.
watch it
I'm
play
trying
out.
to help you. You don't want to go down that path with me. Don't play with me. I'm not your friend.
Mm.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm just trying to be. I'm just telling you, I don't want to play that. You lose that.
Mm.
I'm just having a respectful conversation. You said you have six. You have 6 siblings. Your mother and father are married.
They
Yeah,
were.
this is-
Yeah, they were married for 17 years.
Okay. And they have 6 children and at least 17 years to show. And a 26-year-old daughter in a 2-year relationship, you don't know what you want. Have you talked to them about marriage or a relationship?
Yeah,
What's their advice?
I'm young.
That's your mother's advice?
Mhm.
What's your father's advice?
Same thing.
You're young. So just stay out here and just have unprotected, stay out here and just have uncommitted sex.
Mm. For fun. For fun, right? I mean, it's like sex is for fun first and procreation second. You know, we're trying to find meaning in the procreation, but we found a lot of meaning in the fun. And so we do the fun. Kind of eye-opening, huh?
I guess.
She guess.
Well, everybody gets to make choices. As far as being too young to be married, actually, by the time you hit 27, you're actually kind of too old for marriage at that point.
Mm.
And in our community, we've told this lie to Black women that you're too young for marriage. And it's the wrong thing. That's why 1 in 4 Black women will look to marry right now. But 80% of our children are born outside of wedlock because, unfortunately, Did you go to college?
I 2 years I went, but then I studied real estate. So
Unfortunately, so many of our women got this whole boss diva working narrative. It's a very masculine thing. And when they really understand what life is about, it's usually too late. That's why
Mhm.
happiness in our communities through the ground.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be, you don't know. You say you want to be married, but you don't know if you want kids. Cool. Whatever it is you want, you better start thinking about it because life is not playing with you.
Mm.
And you're not too young. You're not too young at all. And if you're not going to marry your boyfriend, I'll ask you this question. 91% of Black women make under $75,000. Are you in the 91% or in the top 9%?
Right now, probably in the 91%.
Okay. If you don't marry, since you're in real estate, I'll give you a problem. A male or a female from age 25 to 65 makes $50,000 a year for 40 years, and they get a cost of living raise every year of 3%. And every month they put aside $200. By the time they reach 65 and retire from a life of 65 to 85, that person will need $2.9 million to retire on to last that next 20 years. At $50,000 for 40 years, that they're going to have almost a $750,000 shortfall.
Yeah.
If you don't get married and you're not making what a man and you and the husband are going to make, how are you going to live after retirement? Because the government can't do it. Social Security won't be there.
Yeah.
See, marriage is not an option for you.
Well, I hope
Unless
I get married.
No, it's not a hope. See, that's the thing. I'm talking to you and women in your generation. Marriage has been marketed to you as an option. Unless you're going to make what two people make and you're going to stack it, it's not an option. You're going to need two incomes. Right. That's why the next lowest group of married people are white women at a rate of 54%. And it troubles me to see so many Black women who may be nice people, but so lackadaisical and so structureless at your age, just floating around out here, just doing shit, not living life on any plan or anything. And then you reach your mid-30s and you're looking around and asking where all the good men went. It's time to start putting structure.
Well, I don't think I'm living out here like unstructured.
Okay.
Just because I'm not married.
And then say you were living out unstructured because you weren't married. I asked you what you wanted. You don't know. Do you want to be married?
That was the last.
Yeah, I want to be married.
Yes.
Do you want children? I don't know. Okay. At 26 years old, man, geriatric pregnancy starts at 35. See, we have told women, especially in our culture, that your 20s are for you and to do yourself, and it's not. The women who tell you guys this stuff are over 40, single, and unhappy.
True.
So I'm saying to you that stop any decision you're going to make in fear, scarcity, or lack is a wrong-headed decision. And regardless as to whatever you decide to do, marriage for men generally is about family and legacy. Without children, there really is no business reason for a man to marry you because the downsides are too high for us. If you don't want children, fine. But the net of it still is the same. You're going to need enough money to retire on. And that's a game no one can afford to play. Right. So whatever you decide, I've seen far too many women who don't know the numbers, don't know the math, and they're just living life paycheck to paycheck mentality, not thinking about the future. And then they look up in their mid-30s or 40s and upset. You are at a point in time where you can actually make some choices. It's time to get serious, is what I'm basically telling you. And I'm going to go back to what was first said. You came in and the reason we went down this path is because you came in and talked about bosses. I'm not hearing boss. Bosses take life seriously. So congratulations on being in real estate. Thank you for not having any kids out of wedlock. But you need to start taking life seriously, because outside of this country, in China, women your age are called leftover women.
Yeah.
They're called Christmas cake, is what it's called in Japan. And you don't want to be one of those if you don't have to be. Have a good night.
Stop right there. And we're going to skip a little bit to the beginning, because I think that conversation with her was important. But Kevin's going to monologue. We're going to let him rock for a little bit. But what do you guys think about this? You know, the delusion of the boss babe. Don't need a man. You don't have to have children if you don't want to. You know, we're going against our own nature. You know, so this is why Kevin, man, he's a very missed man in our neighborhood, in our community.
Privilege is almost like being a high value man, except a man has to make himself high value. A woman is born with pretty privilege. She just has to maintain it. The difference is being high value lasts a hell of a lot longer. But here's the real question. Today women, unlike times in the past where a woman used to be pretty women used to still have to feel like they had to do something. Meaning, if you were born and you were a natural beauty, your family still made sure you knew how to cook, clean, take care of a man, be a wife. I want you guys to think about the Vanessa Williams character in Soul Food. There was Vanessa, there was Vivica, and there was Nina. All of those women were beautiful, but Vanessa was arguably the finest of them all, and she was the most educated, but she still knew how to cook. Whether she could, and she was married. But today the question is, are pretty women above having to work, hustle, and compete to keep a man, not to get a man? I'm going to assume that women in this category have no problem attracting men. But what we're starting to see today is a lot of pretty women who are not wives. Point blank, period, end of sentence. I don't care why it is. I don't care who hurt your feelings. I don't care how many times you've been engaged. I don't care what this is supposed to be or what this is supposed to be. If you make it into your 30s plus and you are a pretty woman and not a wife, that's unusual. And you've got to drop a lot of it at the women's feet today. We got to at least ask the question, do modern women really think pretty privilege is enough? Or what else do you bring to the table? I'm going to give you a personal anecdote. I've always dealt with attractive women. It's just my thing. But I was talking to a friend the other day and I was like, it's amazing how do I want to say this? Women of a certain stature don't feel like they have to do anything except be pretty, for the most part. Cook, clean, do whatever. Now, the expectations, whether overt or whether directly spoken or not, they expect everything. You want filet mignon and steak and crab and diamonds and Ferraris and this and that. But pretty fades. And the thing is, today's pretty women seem to only think all they have to do is bring pretty to the table. And I got news for you, ladies. It has never been enough. It's never been enough, and it won't be enough, because there's an old saying when they used to have the Sports Illustrated swimsuit models. There was a movie back in the 80s called 10 starring Bo Derek. She was supposed to be the perfect 10. And there was a caption under that picture of her stepping out of the ocean. It said somewhere somebody is sick of her too. Meaning that after the pretty wears off, after the new wears off, you're just a woman. a better looking woman.
Mm.
And if you're a pretty woman and you don't bring anything to the table other than you're pretty and
I'm a PhD.
and your job or your this, your that, then how do you expect to keep a man? Because I want you guys to really think about this. How often do you see women who are 6, that's cute, adjustable 6, that can go from cute to pretty, 8, pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous, 8 to 9 and 10, and you think about it, how many times do you see a woman who is a 6, adjustable 6, 8, 9, or even 10, and you are starting to see the majority of these women unmarried, not even divorced, unmarried. It was such an issue that I went down in Houston talking about pretty professional problems. So ladies, what is it? Because really, I'm gonna tell you, when I talk to guys behind the scenes, men behind the scenes of all races, what they tend to say is, today pretty women think that all I have to do is be pretty. Just be pretty. Be pretty and spend my money. Be pretty, spend my money, and then your job description is to look good and then have sex. And when men are being honest, they'll say this ain't that great. I mean, it's good with some of them, but it's not that great. It's not the best you ever had. And even if it's mind-blowing, so what? The older you get, the more stuff you gotta go, big deal. I'm gonna tell you right now, ladies, if your mother, the women in your family did not prep you, teach you how to actually maintain a man's mind and his ego, they just taught you how to maintain his eyes and his penis. Ladies, and here's the funny thing, women who fit into this category, men are wondering, why aren't they married? Women are like, why ain't she married? Everyone would think you should have an easier life, but they don't. Because at the end of the day, far too many of these ladies are worried about themselves. I'm gonna say something to you ladies, you're not gonna like it. Far too many modern women are worried about themselves. Worried about yourselves.
I'm gonna stop right there. I mean, I think, narcissism is probably the problem, overall. I mean, people that don't feel like they have a sense of duty in life or a sense of purpose in life. And so they're entitled. They look at the world like the world's their parent. And the world just owes them something, like their parent owes them something. And they make terrible people to be around, to be with. They just show up. What do they bring to the table? They're trying to take from the table. They're not trying to bring to the table. And they think they're a slave or they're less of a person. They bring something to the table. But men, everyone expects men to bring everything to the table. But women, I'll just be pretty. I'll just show up. But looks do. People say looks fade, but to me, I think you can preserve your looks a long time if you eat healthy, you work out, you can preserve your looks. But the truth is, no one wants to be around someone long term that has poor character. And that's what it comes down to. A lot of people have poor character. They're not bringing character to the table, right? They need more development, right? Because at the end of the day, you having the skill to cook, to clean, that's going to benefit you wherever you go. And you're going to make the people you're around, benefit from your skills. We all want to be around people that are clean and know how to cook, to say, oh, I'm not going to do that. Selfish, because we want someone else to do that. Even the people that don't know how to cook, they want to eat a well-cooked meal. They just don't want to have to cook, but they definitely want to eat a well-cooked meal. So, selfishness. What you want from the world, you want something for nothing. And that's what we get these days.
Worry about yourselves. And women who worry about themselves end up by themselves. Women who learn how to put their men above themselves keep men. That's why you're seeing so many women today who can get men but can't keep them because they're good at attracting. They're good at doing. See, the thing is, pretty privilege has told women that the world, you're beautiful. And because a man wants to have sex with you, and because just with the man that you're with, and you're spending time to get to know, you can easily replace him But yes, that's somebody to have sex with. But somebody to
Mm.
deal with you, this is why it is so important for women to understand that if you're a single woman and you want to be married and you're pretty, you have no excuse. Because you've had plenty of, you're ran by plenty of suitable men, unsuitable men, blah, blah, blah. Don't come in here typing in all caps.
Mm.
Come in here typing in all caps, I'm going to block you. Why is this important? Because it is time for the women who want a different outcome to realize, ladies, especially if you want a man who's productive, competitive, successful, a higher value man, you got to love him more than he loves you.
Mm.
You have to female court him. You have to do more than just sit there and be pretty. That's why there was such an uproar when that woman said, oh, all I got to do is be inspirational. Being inspirational doesn't mean just sit there and be pretty.
Mm.
What's wrong with all caps? I said that's what's wrong with all caps. Anything else?
Kevin would monologue and then start attacking people in the comments. So that's hysterical.
Okay, bye. Play games, go by. Go back to it. And this is something you should be happy to hear about. You should be happy to hear about this because women who can attract men but can't keep them, you should be happy to say, oh, maybe this is it. But see, this means that women are going to have to risk. This means women are going to have to put themselves out there. And I have news for you. If you are a woman born after 1975, you are going to have to put yourself out here in risk. Because the market has changed. Men are not just marrying because they should. Men want to know what they're getting and they want to know what they're getting. And
Facts.
Like it or not, ladies, it's not good enough to say, buy me on potential. They'll hook up with you, they'll have sex with you. But the funny thing is, you talk to a lot of pretty privileged women and they're getting the same kind of deals as average women, meaning the guys are wanting them to work and this and that. Why? Because if you don't make a man feel the way he wants to feel, he will go down to the woman who's going to do that. Let's talk about it because I've had this conversation with, when I do consults, when I do my one-on-one consults, I'll tell a little secret. I do about 3 consults a day. And it is it's to see the amount of beautiful women who never were taught that you got to work, that you got to do something, that you got to do more, that you can't expect. I mean, and here's the funny thing. I've talked to nice, pretty women who are just like, they'll take everything. They're nice, they're feminine. It's like, yeah, but have you ever spent any money on a man? Have you ever did this? Have you ever did? Remember that one broadcast where I talked about, when's the last time you wrote a love letter to a man? Or you wrote anything? A lot of women are like, what? Yeah. Ladies, you got to do, well, it's a lot of work. Well, here's the thing. Die alone. Die alone. Because like it or not, once your pretty is gone, there are plenty of pretty 45-year-old women who are forever single. Forever single. All right. So where is turn off request? Okay. All right, but let's get into it. All you have to do is be nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Pretty privileged. Everybody gets old. But if a man can't get nothing from you other than just pretty privilege goes away.
Fast. Too fast. So I'm gonna stop it right there. Another good video by Kevin Samuels. You know, where did he record all these videos at? Right? I could have sworn I watched all his videos, all his lives, but he got a ton of videos I still have never seen before. Anyway, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Channel's blowing up. As soon as we hit 1,000 subs, new cameras, new microphones, better studio. I'm here to entertain you guys. I'm here for you guys. Can't do it without your support. Talk to you soon. Hey, boys. Peace.